involved with him, and that was a wonderful experience. I was doing 10, maybe 12 shows a day.
How old were you at the time?
14.
Wow, yeah. So it must have been an education.
Yeah. My first time out on the road, you know, and I really got a kick out of it. What's more, they ended up with a bundle of notes like this. I couldn't, I'd never seen so much money. It must have been 150 quid.
Wow.
Yeah, at the end of we did a lot of shows for that, but it was more money than I'd ever seen.
How did your mum and dad feel about a 14-year-old going around doing these things?
Well, I think I proved my point that, maybe there's some money in this.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right.
So you took the money back and it was all right. Yeah.
But the funny thing was, my father was always against me in being in the business. He used to say, "Oh, get a proper job," and they never regarded show business as a proper job. And yet, Mum used to support me in it, and what's more, she ended up managing me. Now, how can she do that without Dad knowing that she was doing it? And Dad it was like good cop, bad cop. Yeah. Dad was the one who tried to put me down, but in fact it had that opposite effect, because I was out there to prove it to him.
Of course.
Yeah. But he was making sure I could by putting Mum in charge of it.
Yeah. So he got it all there in the end. He sort of realised. And after when you were bringing all the money back, he realised there's something going on here.
Yeah, something going on.
Well, speaking of something going on, and again we're jumping around here, but we're just looking at the video this morning and just how huge it was when you hit with "I Remember You," how big that was. And how did it feel for you? Because I know you're saying on the DVD, you loved going out, but you had to start staying in. And
oh yeah, it had its pluses and it had its minuses. One of the things that I'd always loved doing, I like to talk to people, and I like a one-on-one. I like a little crowd, because you can talk to people and you can relate to people. But what had happened at that point, like a couple of weeks before it happened, I could talk to anybody in the street and it wouldn't make a damn bit of difference, because they wouldn't know necessarily who I was anyway, you know what I mean? So then when it did happen, I couldn't talk to anybody because 55,000 people wanted to vote at one time. And I found myself having to turn in circles all the time, so that people, I couldn't go out in the street, and I found it very difficult, very difficult. But on the other hand, I can't say I didn't enjoy the attention.
Yeah.
I can't say I didn't enjoy the attention, but it made it very difficult and it was alien to me.
Yeah.
Not to be able to stop and talk to people. Yeah.
So how was it sort of getting away from the sort of the fans and everything, but the whole fact that I think probably at the time one of the most successful Australians, you come to Britain, you'd had this hit, and of course you went on to have some more, but that initial hit, how was it back home in Australia?
Oh, huge. Yeah, and it made a difference there too. Can I just go into a little bit more depth on what I was saying there that made it very difficult? It wasn't so much that I couldn't, that people were reacting differently to me, but my friends, even my closest friends, treated me differently. And I didn't like that.
In what way?
They treated me that I was a star, and I was treated different. And it was just that, maybe they didn't know they were, but it didn't make any difference. I was treated differently, and I could feel that. I liked being treated just as I was.
Oh, right,
and that was difficult, difficult. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
It's that's part of the trappings, I suppose, of things that happen like that. Fame, but fame is a very peculiar thing. I remember when I finally did get to play the play, it was really because of I Remember You, and the wonderful feeling of just walking out there. My dream was coming true, and there I was in front of an audience, and it struck me that a couple of weeks ago, nobody knew who it was.
Yeah.
Now here, all of a sudden, it was a Royal Command performance on television, and a live audience in front going mad. And I thought, well, this is weird. It is very strange.
You just made it 10 times worse, so everybody knew you. The odd one or two people that didn't know you and now knew you. So. And again, I'm trying to pick questions rather than just go through your career in a linear way. Sort of different questions that you probably won't be talking about tonight, or subjects. But one of the things that people might not know, you're a bit of a songwriter as well, and one of my favourite songs that I thought would be worthy of an A-side was "I'm Smiling Now."
Gosh.
Well, you wrote that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you write, is there any other undiscovered Frank Ifield compositions out there? Because that was a great song.
There was one that I wrote that sold 1 million copies.
Well, that's not undiscovered then,
but
is it?
nobody would necessarily remember it.
All right.
And the reason it sold 1 million copies is on the B-side of I Remember You. I was no fool.
No, well that's it. Of course, people realise you got equal amounts of money, didn't you?
But it was that's right. It was a song called I Listen to My Heart.
Oh right, yeah.
And of course, it made a hit for a group called the Sputniks.
Of course,
who recorded it and made a hit out of it. So I did actually get value on its own right. But yes, I read that one. On the back of a fag packet.
That's where all the best songs are written, on backs of fag packets, aren't they?
It was funny because I was in Jersey. I was doing a summer season, the first summer season I'd done, and I'd only had Lucky Devil at that point. I hadn't had any big hits. And I was just lying on the beach. This idea came to me. I listened to my heart. I'd fallen in love, you say. There was a girl that was working down the road. She was dancing. And I'd fallen in love with it. So I wrote this thing on the back of a fag packet and put the chords to it and sang it. And that's how it came about. Yeah. I don't care what people say, I listen to my heart.
Oh, wow.